Hey there, fellow makers. Welcome to Prop Live, your weekly prop and costume making Q&A session. I'm Bill from Punished Props, and I'm going to be tackling your prop and costume technique questions today. By myself. Didn't get a guest this week. Things are a little mellow around here today. This might be a little shorter too. I'm a little under the weather. Didn't sleep very much last night. But we got some questions built up from you guys. We'll start tackling those pretty soon. If you're watching live, if you're one of the awesome prop tarts in the chat and you have a question you want to send me about something that you're building, technique question, something about cosplay, or anything in particular you want to ask me, just submit them to us over at punishedprops.com/live. There is, here I'll show you for the uninitiated. You go to punishedprops.com, you go to the live section, there/live, and there we go. There is a little form right there. And there's me talking at myself. You can just put your question right in there, answer the thing to prove you're not a robot, and you can send me your question. That'll pop up in her email. Brittany will put it in my doc, and then I'll see it. So that's how that works. If you're watching live, you have a question, that's the way to do it. Keep an eye on that. We'll dive into those soon. But for now, I have some announcements, some goings on. We took a week off from live streaming for the holidays, but we were not idle. No. I built the giant axe. The Jazza Axe, or the Jazza Axe, or the Jax. Those are all the names that were recommended for it. But we teamed up with a YouTuber named Jazza. He's an artist. He designed a giant axe, and I built it. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. All of that stuff is over on our main YouTube channel, the Punished Props YouTube channel. We have a 2-part series. They're both out right now. It's there you go. There I am talking about the giant axe thing. The first part's all the fabrication. Second part's all the assembly and painting on it. And I'm super proud about how it turned out. So if you want to see how that went together, go check that out. All of it's up on punishedprops.com, obviously. But also go check out Jazza's channel. He's an Australian dude. He's a very good artist. He's a wonderful instructor. And he has a really good community of creative people over there. I know this because a bunch of them flooded over to my channel, and they were super nice and awesome. And I'm glad to be a part of that. That we have our prop tarts. He has his arty party, and I think that's amazing. I would like to be part of the arty party. So, Jazza Axe build, 2 videos. Go check those out. Next up is the Boolean Gemini. I have a video edited and uploaded and ready to go for tomorrow. I've done a whole bunch of painting on it. There are 2 more videos, the one for tomorrow and the one after that. But since you guys are here right now watching me Prop Live, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what I have done. I've done more than tomorrow's video. So here's the sneak peek. Let me grab it. Alright, cool. It's still in a couple of pieces. And there's still masking tape on a bunch of it. But that's what I have so far. So, today I was doing this details here, some of the weathering, this decal over here. That's what I have so far. So I'm almost ready to glue the 2 halves together and do some more weathering on top of it. But in general, I am really stoked about where this is going. And I just saw a giant thumbprint on the back. I think I just did that. Crap. It's not entirely dry. Okay, I'm going to set this down before I ruin it. You can see I still have some masking on there. 1 second. Cool. Whoops, sorry. That's what I've been working on. What else do we have here? Oh, Rustycon. There's a local convention here in Seattle at the Seattle Airport Marriott Hotel, January 13th to 15th, Rustycon. It's a science fiction and fantasy convention, and I will be there. I will be a guest doing some panels. They're going to have costume stuff. So if you're local and you want to dress up, that's the place to go. I believe there's a costume contest. I will be on some panels. I don't have them listed yet. But Rustycon in Seattle in just a couple of weeks. So look forward to that. Rustycon.com. Apparently it's been around for 30 years, which I think is really cool. All right. I can't think of anything else I need to say. I think I covered just about everything. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. We got New Year coming up. We tried to take it easy for the holiday, but I still built a bunch of stuff. So I hope you had a good time, and I hope you enjoy the new year. All right, I think I'm ready to dive into some questions, and we have a bunch of them here. And I think I'm just going to jump into it. First one, Sin Toxic says, do you have any experience with Spaz Stix, that's Stix with an X, Ultimate Mirror Chrome Spray Paint? Let me take a look at that. I'm just doing a little search here. All right, I've heard of this stuff. I don't think I've used it before. Let's see here. Syntoxic says, I found several videos which compared chrome spray paints, and it won all the time. Do you have other tips for getting a mirror chrome finish? So I don't know about that spray paint in particular, but I do know that if you need to get a chrome shiny finish on your prop or your costume part, then the coat below your spray, your chrome spray paint, that coat, it's really good if it's dark or black if possible. And it's really good if it's glossy. So whatever you end up doing to get your base coat to be black and glossy, whether you just spray it with some black glossy spray paint, having a dark layer beneath the metallic layer is going to help you out a lot. But more than anything, making sure that it's super shiny is going to make a huge difference. If you spray the best chrome spray paint on tree bark, it's not going to look chrome at all because tree bark is not shiny. But if you spray it on glass, it'll look really shiny because it's got that chrome finish under that. You're really going to have to tinker, I think, a little bit to really get your process down. So experiment, and best of luck to you. So I like the All-Clad. It's not a spray paint. You have to get an airbrush for it, but I like All-Clad. In fact, I used some of that on the Jazza Axe, and it turned out pretty great. I think I could do better though. Just getting that gloss coat before the chrome paint. I think I could do better. But again, it's a process. You got to trial and error and figure it out and figure out what works best for you. Thank you, Sin Toxic, for that question. Next one. Cheers. Let me get a little bit of a Diet Mountain Dew. Yay! I'm seeing a couple people in the chat who want to know where Brittany is. Brittany is upstairs. And she's in the chat. Lady Longshanks in the chat is Brittany, my wife. And she's wonderful. And she's upstairs. She probably has a cat on her lap right now. Let's see. Next one. Zero Jag says, have you ever heard of or ever thought about uploading tutorial content on Instructables.com? I have heard of that. They have amazing contests where you can win awesome prizes with your tutorials on how to make stuff. I know Vulpin has made a couple tutorials and won prizes before, and was wondering if you would ever consider giving it a shot. Whenever I see that pop up, I consider putting a tutorial up there, but I have a couple things keeping me from doing that. One, the tutorial content that I make, that I put on YouTube or on my website is my content, and I have the ability to monetize that the way I need to. Now, there is a benefit to putting your content on some place like Instructables, because that's a place where people go to find stuff. So they could find me that way. If they don't already know who I am, they could find me that way. And I could put something up there just because I know people will find it, and it would be really helpful for them to find it. So I may consider like doubling up on some of my more popular tutorials and making something for Instructables. But that means doubling the work. That means either making something twice, basically, once for my channel, once for Instructables, or just making it for one or the other. And if it's one or the other, I'm going to always default to making content for myself. As far as the contests are concerned, that's really cool. A lot of times they'll give away things like laser cutters and 3D printers and all this other amazing stuff, tools, really useful stuff. My thought about that is usually I already have all that stuff, and it would be awesome for someone else, another maker who doesn't have access to that stuff, to win and get their hands on it. I'm not assuming I would win. I'm not assuming that. I am pretty good at making tutorials though, but I would rather see it go to someone who would really appreciate winning something like that. I don't need 2 laser cutters, although that would be pretty cool. Either way though, Instructables.com is amazing. If you're looking for how-to content, it's awesome. Go over there and check it out. And who knows, maybe someday I'll put something up there. I don't think I need to participate in the contests. Thank you for the question, Zero Jag. Maybe you will make some tutorials over there. I think for someone who's a little more casual about making tutorials, that might be a good place to get your feet wet. Cool. We'll go to the next one here. This is Wolf Song. How can a beginner that knows nothing about 3D printing learn how to start 3D printing and using the machines and the programs without going to school? All right, there are lots of really cool places to go use 3D printers or get experience with that kind of machinery and software that's not in a school. We just put up a video. Brittany put together a video, actually. We went to a local makerspace called the SoDo MakerSpace here in Seattle. We put together a little meetup. It was amazing. Like 20 or 30 people showed up, which was super cool. They have all the tools. They have a laser cutter. They have a couple of CNC machines, a bunch of 3D printers, and the best part, they have people that know how to use it, and they can help you learn how to use it. So look for a makerspace, number one, in your area, but also look for libraries now are becoming more and more. They're turning into makerspaces, really. They have books, computers, and sometimes they have 3D printers. So look to your local library. It's likely that it's free. You have to go sign up for like a library pass, but it's probably free. And they may have some of the equipment you can use. So there you go. Makerspaces and libraries. Can't really think of any other places, but there you go. A couple of places for you to look, Mr. Wolf Song. All right. Hey, quick reminder. I see people jumping into the chat. I see Rocket Man. I see Blue Tongue Devil. If you guys have any questions that you want to throw my way for today's Q&A, send them my way. Anything at all, really. Let's just have fun today. I'm just ready for your questions. Whatever you got. punishprops.com/live. Throw them in there, and I'll answer them for you. Let's grab the next one. This is from Loraldo. I'm interested in a paint technique that looks like a Crackle Finish. What would be the best way to replicate the finish on foam? I've never actually done this before myself, so disclaimer. All right, but I can't quite think of what you would call this or how you would search for it. Maybe someone in the chat will know, but there is a way you can put down like a wet layer of like Elmer's glue, and then spray paint over it, and then as they both dry, the glue will shrink a little bit and cause that crackling technique, the crackling finish. So I'm not exactly sure. Again, I've never done that myself, and I can't quite know what to call it. Maybe Elmer's glue, Crackle Paint. Maybe there's something like that. Maybe it'll send me to and Instructables. Let's see here. Elmer's has their own thing on the Elmer's website. How about that? That's kind of cool. So I'll drop that in the chat there. Elmer's Crackle Finish. Here, let's see. Take a peek over here. There you go. That's kind of what we're going for there. There you go. There are the instructions. Paint wood surface with base coat paint. Allow to dry. Brush Elmer's wood glue on top of base coat. A thicker coat results in larger cracks. Apply a thinner coat for fine cracks. While the glue is still tacky, brush on the top coat and let it dry completely. This is definitely the sort of thing you'll want to do a little bit of experimenting with. So there you go. Try it out. Get yourself some Elmer's glue. I guess I said wood glue. Get some paint and give it a try. They recommend the base coat, latex or acrylic paint. Same thing with the top coat. And see what else other people. I know plenty of other prop and costume makers have done something similar. Brittany's laughing because someone's putting goofy names in the like evil Todd Smith in the Q&A submissions. Thanks for the question, Laraldo. Let's grab the next one from Chisha. I'm in the process of planning a build of the pain wheel from Skullgirls. The pain wheel. Is there a picture here? That does look like a pain. Is that attached to her back? Let's see here. That is a giant spiked wheel that's stuck to her back. All right. Cool. That's a thing. All right. Let's finish the question here. Struggling with finding a way to secure it to my body and keep it floating in place with minimal visible straps. Giving the backless design of the dress and the small attachment point to the body. Do you have any advice for this? Boy, that is ambitious. You got most of the questions that come in like this are because you guys are picking really ambitious costumes. Most of the time with this kind of challenge, I recommend people modify the design a little bit. You're going to have to make some compromises. That character simply has a giant thing sticking out of a hole in her back. And unless you're willing to put a giant hole in your own back and attach it directly to your spine, you're going to have to make some adjustments to the design of the costume. Some sort of harness system. Because that thing, the problem is that extends very far away from the body. And the further out it goes, the heavier it is. Even if you build it really light, it's still going to want to pull down. And it connects on just a single small point in the middle. It's not going to... That is going to be very, very difficult to keep from bending. So make the parts extremely light. And then you're going to have to modify it so you have some sort of harness backpack thing built into the costume. But that's a challenge for you. That's a creative challenge. Build something that makes it work with the costume, but also kind of looks like it works for the character, for the aesthetic. So good luck, Chisha. That's a very ambitious build. And if you do pull it off, let me know. I want to see that. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Hold on one second. I have to cough. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Woot in Mont says, I'm doing a Stein from Soul Eater. He has a head screw that twists and makes a clicking noise. Have you any ideas on what to stick in the foam to make the noise? So we're looking for some sort of Noisemaker. I'm also looking at pictures of that character. Oh, he's got a big screw sticking out of his head. That's right. Don't they make like party noise makers? Those things that you just like spin around. They're really dumb, like these things. Yeah. Those are $1. So either build something that replicates what these things do, or just buy one of these and integrate it into your costume. That's what I would do. I would just buy the thing. Yeah. Otherwise, you could put a thing in there like you know, when you're a kid and you put bicycle or baseball cards in your bicycle spokes. That's basically what it's doing. It's just having these like have a gear or spokes or something, and then have a piece of plastic that the gear runs across as you turn it, and it goes click 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 click. It clicks as it goes by, something like that. Yeah. Blue Tongue Devil says you could use a part like from the Life game, the spinner part. Yeah, it's a pretty good idea too. Good job, Prop Tarts. So there's a couple things for you to try. Woot and Mont. Next one comes from our buddy Venger. I'm currently working on a build that is experimenting using household latex paint. These will be full contact foam swords, so the paint needs to be durable. Let's see, I want to mix my own colors, so I bought a quart of plain white. However, I'm having a hard time with it as all my shades come out oversaturated or too desaturated when I try to mix in some gray or black to rein in the oversaturation. Color theory and mixing colors and mixing paints is like a whole can of worms. I will say it's mixing in, just straight up mixing black or white into your paint tends to not have the effect you want it to. Just to make a color lighter, you would think you just mix in white paint, but it doesn't just make it lighter. So this is why I tend to buy paint the color I need it, because I'm really bad at mixing colors. You're clearly trying something different, but this is also why I have a million different cans of paint in my room, in my paint room, because I just buy the color I need. I don't mix my own paint unless I really, really have to. Just know that just putting straight up black or straight up white into your paint is going to have an undesired effect, usually. Yes, so that I don't know what to tell you other than to experiment more with your colors and maybe look up some paint mixing techniques for color. Because I don't have a ton of experience mixing paints. There you go. Good luck, Venger, and thank you for the question. Let's see here. Hey, Bio Cosplay is now hosting us. Hello, Sam. If you're here in the chat, then hey, buddy. He is. Hey, Sam. Cheers, buddy. All right. Staple Crop Rice says, hey guys, if you could make a costume for your pets, what would it be? That's a great question. I would make some Khajiit armor from Skyrim. Probably some fantasy armor for my cats. Sounds pretty awesome. Oh boy, the Nordic armor would look really good. The bear armor. Is that Nordic armor? Skyrim. Is it Nordic? What's the bear one? Yeah, this one right here. My buddy Fev made this, and it's awesome. There's the bear hat. I think that would look awesome on my cat. To make the cod piece, I could modify it a little bit, make it look like a tail piece. The bear ears could be removed, and the cat ears would stick out. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Brittany says she'd make a Jabba throne for Buddha Cat. Hey, you guys in the chat, if you have any fun ideas for costumes for my cats, then post them in the chat. I'm not going to say that I'll do them. We have had no luck getting our cats to wear anything. But I want to see your ideas. So throw them at me, Prop Tarts. And thank you for the wonderful question, Staple Crop Rice. All right, Teamfet has a couple questions. I keep seeing Smooth on YouTube videos about Dragonskin. Is it a pretty good replacement for most molding situations? It appears the molds may last longer with Dragonskin. I'm not sure. I've never used Dragonskin. It's a platinum cure silicone. It's very elastic. So I imagine for molds with a lot of detail and undercuts, then it would be good because it's so elastic it won't tear. But I've never personally used it to make molds. The best thing you can do is to get some for yourself. Go get a trial kit of it. Play around with it. See how you like it. Make some molds. Question 2. What was the settings when you created your RC car wheels? I'm reading rubber can be an issue or cause jams. Did you experience any of this? Talking about 3D printing settings. Now, I printed that on the Form 2 SLA printer. It was not extruded. This is not Ninja Flex. This wasn't done on an FDM machine, so there wouldn't be any jamming. So as far as settings are concerned, I told the preform software to use the flexible material, and I told it to print. There isn't really a lot of variation with their software. I don't have any experience printing flexible material on an FDM machine. I really do. It's something I want to try a lot. It looks like a lot of fun. But, yeah. I use the Form 2. They turned out great. I think a couple things. Their flexible material isn't as flexible as I would hoped it would be. But, and also, if I had made the walls thinner, it would have been more flexible. What ended up happening is I printed them, I put them on the car, I drove it around, and all 4 tires cracked. And that was sad. I did a video on that too. We'll put a link in the show notes to the video on my RC car tires if anyone's interested in seeing my poor car tire adventure. There you go, Teamfet. Couple of answers for you. Let's keep going. We only have 5 or so more questions. So if you're watching, you got a goofy question for me, you let me know. Throw it in the punishops.com/live. Let's see your questions. Nerdy Views wants to know if we saw Rogue One and what we thought of it. Also, any Star Wars related props you guys are thinking of making next year. I did see Rogue One. I thought it was pretty great. There are a couple things I like. I like the tank commander helmet, the hover tank trooper. I like that helmet. It's kind of like a cross between the Death Troopers and the Scout Troopers, but it's also like a lighter color. I thought that was pretty neat. Although a buddy of mine, my buddy Alan, looked like he's going to be making that, so I guess I don't have to make it. I will say there weren't any like guns or anything that I really fell in love with. There were things that were cool and neat and how they functioned in the story, but nothing aesthetically that really grabbed me, except for that the troopers I think were really cool. The shore trooper, in fact, our buddy Bob just built the shore trooper helmet. The death troopers are cool, and the hover tank trooper also cool. I really like their helmets, but that's about it. I don't know. There aren't any guns that are really jumping out at me. Thanks for the question, Nerdy Views. Let's see. We have some suggestions for cat costumes. Eevee? I don't know Eevee. Shave cat, paint green, like Lion Cat from Saga. I don't know Saga, so I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to shave my cat. Battle Cat, though. I like the idea of a Battle Cat costume. Yes, Jabba the Hutt with a He-Man toy in the saddle. I like that. Let's see here. Cool. Oh, and Brittany's pointing out that she really loved K2 in the new Star Wars movie. And I do too. K2 was awesome, voiced by Alan Tudyk, the voice of Wash. And it was great. I liked him a lot. Let's keep going here. Lon has a question for us. He says, during the lightsaber build, you guys did some priming that was cured in minutes. What magical primer did you use? So Lon is talking about on the live stream on Tuesday, me and my buddy Joel Telling, the 3D printing nerd, did some lightsaber assembly and painting. We printed Sean Charlesworth's lightsaber. It's awesome, by the way, and it's free. The files are free. We'll link to all that. I put the video up on the YouTube channel today. Actually, you can go check that out. The spray primer that I used, let me see if I can find it on Amazon. It's made by Tamiya. Oh, if I can spell Tamiya, Tamiya Fine Primer. Let's Let's see here. There it is. I just got it at that local hobby store. This stuff here, gray or white. I think I used white. Doesn't really matter. But it's the fine surface primer. It's a little can, and it's not cheap for a little can, but it's really nice. It's got a really good nozzle, and it's especially designed for spraying small parts like little models. And here, I'll grab a link and dump it in the chat. There we go. Boop. For small models and fine detail, it's not going to gum up a little miniature or whatever it is you're painting, or your lightsaber parts. And because it's so fine, and we did some really light layers of paint, it dried very quickly. With most primers, you usually want to wait a long time. Read the can, whatever it says. But with that stuff, I was like, we weren't going to be handling it too heavily, so I felt fine painting it after only letting it dry for 10 minutes. So there you go. Tamiya Fine Surface Primer. Look for it at your local hobby store. Evil Todd. Oh, thank you, Lon. Good question, Lon. Evil Todd Smith has a question. When you first started prop making, how did you find motivation to stick to and finish a product? That was the whole point. The whole point was, I want this thing from a video game. It doesn't exist. I have to make it. That was it. There was no point in putting myself through learning all of that, buying all those materials, buying all those tools, if I wasn't going to end up with a finished product. So come hell or high water, I was going to finish that thing. Also, when I got started, I was cosplaying with my friends, and we did a group cosplay, and I wasn't going to be the only guy who didn't finish his costume, so I made it happen. I am notorious for never having a plan B, never giving myself the opportunity to not finish something because I'll just do something else. Like, no, this is the thing I'm doing. It's not about motivation, it's about determination. It's about making a decision and sticking to it. Self-discipline. Thank you, Evil Todd Smith. And good luck on your next proper custom-making costume. Manly Longshanks. That's a pretty good question. Pretty good name. Thanks, you guys. Do you have a P.O. box or address for fan mail? We do. We have a P.O. box. We don't... If people ask for it, we'll give it to them. We don't post it anywhere because we don't check it very often. We're really bad about that. Actually, look, Habiteer Workshop is in the chat right now. Habiteer Workshop sent us some wonderful coffee, and it was amazing. By the way, it was really good. So thank you. Yes, we do have a P.O. box. If you send me a message on Twitter or through our Facebook page, or not on Facebook, through our website, we have a contact form there. If you send me a message over there, I'll send you our P.O. box, but I'm not going to post it. You got to be motivated to send us something. All right. Well, actually, let me go off on that for a second. We may start doing like a fan mail segment or something, maybe on our live streams on Tuesdays. But I will say it does become it's a thing. It's another thing that we have to do, and I do want to see and appreciate the things you guys will send us, and we will eventually do that. But everything we've got so far from people, like, we haven't been able to showcase it. I feel bad about that. There's just like stuff just everywhere that people have sent us so far. So we do want to be able to showcase it. It's just like carving out a moment where we can integrate that into what we're already doing is difficult. But we'll get there. And thank you everyone who sent us stuff so far, especially you, Habiteer Workshop, because that coffee was wonderful. All right, and thank you, Manly Longshanks, for the question. Cool, we got a bunch more questions. I'll keep piling through these now that I'm on my caffeine buzz. Okay, here we go. Triel says, I just picked up the materials to try rubber cement painting based on your Mechanist armor making. Mixed up a 50-50 ratio. Added some oil paint. gave it a go. It didn't look right. It's not 50-50. It's more thinner than rubber cement, just so you know. Added some oil paint and gave it a go. It didn't look right, so I've tried more cement, more paint, more thinner. Nothing looks like the paint's on a nice coat. Any suggestion, hints, or videos you can suggest for getting this to work beyond the Frank video tested? Mostly thinner. A little bit of rubber. You're basically thinning the rubber cement until it's thin enough to run through an airbrush. That's really the goal with the thinner. And then you don't need a lot of pigment. Just enough oil paint to color it. But you'll end up going heavier on the thinner. But really, start with your rubber cement in a jar. And then mix in a little bit of thinner and keep mixing it until it's thin enough to run through an airbrush. And then add your pigment. That base that you make, that's just thinner and rubber cement, keep that in a jar and then pour it out into another jar to add different colors to it. So pour it out into another jar and add your black paint or your blue paint or whatever. And just put in enough oil paint to just tint it. You don't need a ton. And keep experimenting. And good luck, Triel. Let's see here. Ernest says, aerosol, cyanoacrylate fixer, or pump spray. Is there any difference? Which would you recommend? They can't ship aerosol via airmail. I usually like the aerosol one just because it's more reliable. But I tried to get some recently on Amazon, and it was like all out or something. So I just got the pump bottle from the local store, the Hobby Town down the street. And it works fine. So I just end up going with the pump one. I'm like, I need a tiny bit, just a tiny bit covered. Just not a lot of fine control. That's fine. It works all the same. Whatever you can get your hands on. Thanks, Ernest. Christopher says, it's a hot wire, a good way to cut foam. I've been getting this question a lot lately. I would try it and make a video, except I have no reason to own a hot wire cutter. So I'm not going to make one or buy one. But as far as I can tell from people who have tried it and from my own assumptions, it's not a good way to cut foam. I don't understand what the problem is just using a sharp knife. Just use a sharp knife. It's awesome. You already have a sharp knife, probably. I do get people, it looks like a really cool way to cut foam, but usually people mean styrofoam. If you really want to up your game when you're cutting foam, get a bandsaw. You can get a bandsaw for $100 or less, used on Craigslist, and not only can you cut foam with it and have it look amazing, you can cut metal and wood and all kinds of other stuff with it. So just save yourself the trouble. Get a bandsaw. Yes, and melting EVA foam is probably toxic. So there you go. That's my stance on the hot wire cutter. I'm probably not going to try it. Just get a bandsaw. Thanks, Christopher. Les wants to know, I'm making the 7th seal from Darksiders, and I'm planning on casting it. I don't know what that is. I'm going to look it up. Let's see here. 7th seal. All right, this is some kind of shield, maybe. It's an emblem of some sort. There are seals. Here we go. I'm disappointed it's not like the seal, like the animal, a seal. All right, that's what we're working with. Les wants to know, I'm planning on casting it with one of the cast copies being easy to break. I was wondering what material would be best for that application. That's a really cool idea. I mean, plaster might be a good one. I mean, I can't think of anything right off the bat that would be super easy. You probably just plaster. That's a guess. I've never built something with the intention of having it break easily. I usually try and make things durable. But I'm going to go with plaster. If you have a mold made, you could cast whatever you want in it. So you could make resin copies. You could make ice blocks if you want, and you could also probably try it in plaster and see how that works. So feel free to experiment, and good luck. Good luck, Les. Let's see here. William, aka DLC Props, says, what would be a good low budget camera to make videos? I want to make better quality videos for my YouTube channel. My phone camera is crappy. I was gonna say use the camera on your phone. If you want to, Jack's Props in the chat says Smooth Out makes a breakaway glass that can be painted. That's pretty cool. Maybe try that one out. All right, cameras. So it depends on your budget, on how low budget you are. You can get a used DSLR that'll shoot video for pretty cheap. I'm just gonna go to eBay and just take a look. Let's see, Nikon D3100 camera, looking like this one's a new one's $400. Let's just do this thing here. That's with a lens. It's $400. This one's the bidding. It comes with 2 lenses and an SD card. It's at $180 with 12 hours left. It'll probably go for a little bit more. So it really just depends on your budget, but you can get a DSLR for a couple $100. Just get an older generation one. The 3100 is really good. It'll shoot wonderful video. And Bob's your uncle. But again, depends on how low budget you are, because you could spend $1,000 and get a really amazing camera. So good luck, DLC Props, and keep making those videos, man. It's more important that you make the videos, even with your crappy cell phone, than it is that you get the right equipment. Sam says, hey, Bill, what's your favorite Pokemon? Sam, I've never played Pokemon, so I'm going to go with Pikachu, because I don't know any of the names of any of the Pokemon. I'm sorry. Thank you for the question, Sam. Max Money says, have you ever made a crossplay or gender-bent costume? I did. Crap, I don't know if I can readily find a picture. Let me check really fast. But a couple of years ago at Emerald City Comic Con, Brittany and I did Rogue and Gambit, only gender swapped. So I was Rogue, also known as Brogue, and Brittany was Gambit, Lady Gambit. I don't think I can find a photo right here. I wore it just the once, and I think I took one photo. Yeah, I don't have it. We'll have to see if we can dig that up somewhere. But yes, I have totally done a gender bent costume. Would that be gender bent or crossplay? Either way, I dressed up as a lady. Oh, Britt found it. Oh, that is the tiniest JPEG ever. Let's see if I can add that here real quick. Image, like that. And find the file, and there it is. There's a really low res image, but there you go. I was Brogue and Brittany was Lady Gambit. There, I'll just leave that in the corner. You guys can enjoy that. All right, cool. Let's see here. Oh, and someone in the chat responding to the previous question about cameras, Morph Fiendy said, I picked up a used Canon T2i for about $250 with a bunch of cards, 3 lenses, and a carry backpack. That's amazing. So look for something used. Save your shekels. You'll find something awesome. All right, that was Max Money. Next one is Nick over at Modulus Props. Before he achieved enlightenment, was Buddha known by a different name? Yes, his actual name is Ender, from Ender's Game. Oh, Britt added a higher resolution one. Hold on. Hold the phone. There we go. That's better. With our buddy Chris and our other buddy Cassie. A couple of our friends who work at Weta. What was I just... Oh, Buddha Cat. Yeah, his name is Ender from Ender's Game. We named him that when he was tiny. When he was a little kitten. And he doesn't really fit that name anymore, so we just call him Buddha Cat. Before he achieved enlightenment. Alright. Thanks, Nick. Let's grab a couple more here. Crim VZ says, I got a VR headset lying around after the past holiday and I have no clue what to do with it. I want to mod it or just do something odd to it. Recommendations? I don't know. You could make it look like, what's a good... I'm trying to think of something from like science fiction that looks like a headset thing. I don't know. I mean, I would build it into some kind of helmet. The thing you want to be careful about those are already pretty heavy. Adding any more weight to your head while you're trying to game with those things, just be aware that making it heavier could be a problem. But yeah, I don't know. Find some sort of helmet you think is really cool and sort of build that into it. That's what I would do. Have fun with that. Crim VZ. All right. Coming into the home stretch. Patina props. I've been wanting to start resin casting, but I'm living on a meager college student salary. What is the minimum requirement of stuff and spending to start casting? You'll need silicone. Like 30 or 40 bucks for a trial size kit of silicone. And then resin, trial size kit, 30 or 40 bucks. So we're talking 50, 60, 70 bucks to get those materials. You're good to go. You may need some clay. Clay's pretty cheap. You'll need a thing to mold. You'll need some cups to mix your resins and stuff together. But other than that, you should be pretty good. We have a whole series on molding and casting. You'll want to go check that out, start to finish. We'll put a link in the show notes to that. And have fun with it, Patina props. Thrill Builds says, what is your adhesive of choice for 3D prints? Yesterday I noticed Britt created some pegs to hold together the Holly helmet. Is that the best practice? And if so, is there a size benchmark that says, hey, this need pegs? You're not going to figure out like what needs support until you kind of trial and error some things. I like super glue for most things, and if I need a little more working time, I use a 5-minute epoxy. And if it really needs support, then I'll put pegs in it of some kind. I haven't done a lot of like you could 3D model the pegs and whatnot, like if you put more thought into it. I haven't done a lot of that yet. Yeah, so trial and error. Good example with the Holly helmet. Instead of drilling holes into the helmet, we could have modeled the holes in there and then just still used finishing nails as pegs, which is what we did. But if they were modeled in there and they printed that way, then you wouldn't have to worry about drilling the holes, and they would be exactly in the right spot. So that's something you could try. But experiment with it, try it out. But mostly super glue works really great. Thank you, Thrill Builds, for the question. All right. Dara Def says, Barge isn't available in Canada, sadly. I haven't found a good equivalent yet. What's the best price you've seen for Barge? I just buy mine on Amazon. I'm sorry. I don't shop around for it. I just buy it on Amazon because I have that freedom down here in America. But I would go to a leatherworking store, see what contact cements they use. I know that you can get Barge at leatherworking stores. I don't know if they have Barge at leatherworking stores in Canada, but you could call and ask, or call and see if they have something similar. If I can't find Barge, you can get DAP Weldwood, in the red can at hardware stores here in the States again. They make a green can. That's crap. It's not very good. So there you go. There's some options for you. Good luck, Dara Def. One more question here from Cullen9. Have you tried getting EVA foam wet, then using a butane torch on it? I tried this method today. Got some interesting results. I haven't tried that yet. I have seen some really cool... someone asked shoe repair stores for contact cement. Good addition. Mithril Neth. Anyway, this technique with water and a torch, yeah, it's really cool. I've seen some pictures of people trying that, and it's really awesome. I haven't had any projects I've been working on that needed that finish, so I haven't done it yet, but that looks super cool. Feel free to experiment. There you go. There's all the questions. Thank you guys so much for coming in and throwing all these great questions at me, and thanks for hanging with me while I slowly get more and more plugged up in my nose because I'm a little under the weather. That's all I have for Prop Live today. Thank you again so much. We're going to line up a guest for next week. What else? Tomorrow, the Boolean Gemini. I'm going to show you one more time. Boolean Gemini. Please don't fall. Try not to touch anything that's going to get... Oops, let's show you this side. No fingerprints. This guy right here. Tomorrow, build video on the painting on this. So, that'll go up on our main YouTube channel. Check it out. Safely put this down. Careful. There we go. All right. So that's coming out tomorrow. I think I want to put together like a 2016 recap video because why not? So that might happen this weekend too. We'll see how I feel. It is New Year's. I do have to make a bunch of ribs for our New Year party, so I'm excited about that. Rustycon, January 13th through 15th at the Seattle Airport Marriott Hotel. Science fiction and fantasy convention. I will be there. You should be too. That's about it. That's everything I have. Once again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for the last hour. Excuse me. Thanks, and we'll see you all on the next Prop Live.